Hey, everybody. Welcome to the weekend update. I didn't have a weekend update last week, so this is kind of a twofer. All right. So, videos posted in the last 2 weeks. We did a review of the Pig tactical gloves, nice lightweight work gloves that let you maintain really good finger dexterity and operational control of small parts. Also covered my foundry setup. And I've gotten a couple questions about that, but we'll get into that a little later. Posted a couple videos about PCB design. First one was the tools I use, mostly Easy EDA and JLC PCB. Then we touched on building a schematic in Easy EDA. Of course, the Valheim series continues. Did some swamp exploration, made it into the Iron Age, and worked on finding the trader. Videos coming up this week, parts 3 and 4 of the PCB design video. We're going to take the schematic and turn it into a PCB sketch, and then go through the ordering process. And this is all in preparation for a bigger set of videos where I'm going to build a custom controller for Final Cut Pro X. Unfortunately, the decision-making process was a little rushed, and I went with a Raspberry Pi Pico, and it wasn't quite what I wanted. So, more on that in just a minute, too. All right, Valheim. We learn how to fish, we harpoon some things, and we do some sea exploration. I can tell you I'm filming far enough in advance now that I died a bunch. Found a small little island that was mostly meadow, except for it had one little tiny strip of plains. And I got killed multiple times. And then back to basics, kitted up, got my stuff back. More swamp exploration. And I found Swamp Magic Christmas Land. So that will come out probably mid-July. So keep an eye out for those. But anyway. All right, so as I mentioned, we're going to walk through building a custom controller for Final Cut Pro X. You could easily, remap the key commands to, say, DaVinci Resolve, the Adobe product I can't think of right now. Sorry. Premiere, right? Premiere Pro, I think. Anyway, you could easily remap the controls. It could be used as a generic game board. It could be used as just a macro pad, right? That's all it is. Version 1 has some Cherry MX style key switches and these little guys. This is a rotary encoder, an EC11 specifically. It's got a big knob on top and a button. So anyway, I said earlier, I chose to use a Raspberry Pi Pico. That wasn't quite the thing I wanted because when I got it in, I realized that it didn't have USB-C. It had a USB micro port. Went through with the project anyway, just so that we could have a working prototype. Started working on revision 2, ordering the parts, and the Adafruit Feather version of the Raspberry Pi Pico came in. So I ordered one of those, and it's got USB-C. It's also got a NeoPixel on it. Couple different display choices. We have a 7-segment set of displays. And there's also a nice big 64 by 128 LCD display. Not sure if we're going to put a display on it, but I ordered a couple of those so we'd have the option. The other interesting thing that I decided to go with, I think I'm still going to go with a few rotary encoders, but also some of these little joysticks. And these are, analog joysticks that have a switch built in. And what that's going to let us do is maybe work with color grading or something a little more finesse there. It's all programmable how we want to do it. So, it could be a Final Cut controller one day or a flight stick the next. So that's the nice thing about building your own tools. I've also ordered a Raspberry Pi 4, and we're going to do maybe a little series on using the using the Raspberry Pi 4 as a mobile development tool. There's a couple interesting things I've got bouncing around in my head. We're going to dive way into the nerdy end of things over the next few weeks. If there's anything that you guys want to see specifically, if the Raspberry Pi stuff is too nerdy or not nerdy enough, just let me know. I want to work with the community and see what we can make. All right, guys, and that wraps up the weekend update. I have one thing to ask. Well, it's a few things, really. This is specific to the American viewers, and I don't want this channel to become a political channel or any of that. I want to stay on the nerdy stuff, and I want to stay on the gaming and the fun products and stuff. But our Second Amendment rights are being attacked right now. We have an activist, an anti-gun activist, up for nomination or soon to be nominated. Whatever. We have a nominee for the ATF director position, David Chipman. He is an anti-gun activist, incapable of impartially following the law, enforcing the law, and protecting the rights of the American citizens. We have the ATF has two proposals. One redefines basically any weapon with a pistol brace as a short-barreled rifle. The other is they're trying to redefine what a receiver is. And I'll leave some links below so you can educate yourself. Like I said, I don't want to get too far into this. What I do want to say is whether or not you're pro-gun or anti-gun, that's not really the point. The point is an attack on one right is an attack on all rights. A defense of one right is a defense of all rights. I think we're too far in one direction. We need to stop focusing on, in specifically this instance, we need to stop specifically focusing on guns because they are inanimate objects, they're tools. We need to focus on the issues that lead to violence and crime. We need to address the social issues. We need to address the economic issues. We need to address the mental health issues. We need to address the fact that people don't have common respect and treat each other with decency anymore. We really need to stop thinking of ourselves as islands out for our own interest and start thinking of ourselves as part of a larger community. Anyway, that is it for today. I am so sorry that we went down this path, but it's something that had to be addressed. Like I said, there will be some links below for you to educate yourself. And if you feel like getting a hold of your senator and maybe commenting on the ATF proposals, I would appreciate it, especially if they are against Chipman and against all of it, really. Pro-gun, anti-Chipman, anti-ATF, redefining things and turning tens of millions of Americans into criminals overnight without notifying them. Oh yeah, did I mention that? The ATF will they're not going to notify anyone. They're just going to, they want to enact this proposals, and instantly, without your knowledge, you are a felon. Great. All right, guys, I'm sorry to go off on the tangent, but it had to be said. Look forward to Valheim videos this week. Look forward to finishing up the introductory series on building a PCB, and we will see you next time.